Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to be mastering the Scar H SV DMR. There's two Scar H's in the game. One is an assault rifle and one is a designated marksman rifle. And ever since the September weapons patch, DMRs have gotten some nice upgrades across the board, most of which affects the muzzle velocity. So if you're going to be shooting people at long range, you want faster muzzle velocity. The Scar H SV has gotten a nice bump up in muzzle velocity from 500 to 620, which actually makes a huge difference at long range. Now, some of the benefits that the Scar H SV has over other DMRs is it's tied for the fastest reload with the Mark 11 Mod 0, clocking in at 1.85 seconds for the short reload and 2.3 seconds for the long reload, which is technically the fastest long reload out of any DMR out there. So I guess you could say its reload is actually the fastest all around. It's also in a three-way tie with the Mark 11 Mod 0 and SVD 12 for the most accurate DMR out there. So fast reloading, extremely accurate. This is going to be a great gun for dealing with targets at range. Now, understanding the damage model on DMRs is really important to succeeding with this gun. You can't just run into combat and expect to do well. You have to kind of understand how many shots it's going to take down your opponent. The DMR is a 3-shot kill at any range. Long range, close range, it's going to take you 3 hits to take out your target. If you happen to get a headshot in there, you can reduce that to a 2-shot kill. That, again, both applies for close range and long range. So this gun actually has one of the slowest time to kills in close quarters out of any gun in the game, and that makes it really bad for CQB combat. In fact, I even feel a little bit more confident with bolt action rifles in close quarters because at least you have the chance to get a one-shot kill with that in CQB. The DMR is just so slow that you're gonna really want to switch up to your sidearm. Equip something nice that has a good full auto rate of fire, or maybe a 93R with that nice burst fire to deal with close range targets, because you're really not going to want to use this gun for it. So generally speaking, you're going to want to put a medium times optic on here so you can engage targets at medium range. As you can see here, I'm using the FLIR sight, but it's because I'm using it in conjunction with smoke grenades, which isn't a bad tactic, especially for rush game modes. One thing that can be an advantage with DMRs is, even though you are limited to using medium range scopes, you're never going to have that scope glint that you might get with the high powered optics that you can put on bolt action rifles. So that can certainly be a benefit, as scope glint is one of the easiest ways to spot snipers that are trying to hide. When it comes to picking this weapon for specific game modes, I find that rush is an excellent one because you can use it both defensively and offensively. Defensively, obviously, you have a nice range of your opponent. You can kind of head glitch behind certain targets and bits of cover and just kind of hold up and defend your MCOMs. On the aggressive side, you can play in the backfield, providing a good spawn location for your teammates, but you can also be a little bit more aggressive with this gun if you need to, since it is semi-auto rather than bolt action. And then you also have a good sidearm, so you don't necessarily want to play in the front lines with this, but if you have to, you can. Whereas when you're playing with something like a bolt action, ultimately you want to get out of the front lines whenever possible. Now, when it comes to outfitting DMRs, there's a few different trains of thought on how you might want to mod this gun so that it performs to your playstyle. If you have a spammy playstyle where you just want to shoot as much as you possibly can at your opponent, kind of hitting a lot of body shots, not really going for precision long range shots, then you can do stuff like an angled foregrip and a muzzle brake to reduce that recoil as much as possible, so you just get as little bounce each time you take a shot. That's an important aspect of this gun. You can also try and equip it for precision, more precision at long ranges. And since the Scar H SV is already a great gun for taking precise shots at longer ranges, it does make a little sense to kind of lean in this direction a little bit more. So I put a heavy barrel on here, but I did also put an angled foregrip on there because taking follow-up shots with the DMR is absolutely essential no matter what range you're engaging your opponent. So it's kind of a hybrid between accuracy and reduced recoil, although I think an angled foregrip really is the way to go on just about any DMR in the game. And again, for those of you not intimately familiar with the attachments, angled foregrip will reduce your first shot recoil, so almost every single shot you take with this DMR should have reduced recoil unless you're actually spamming it fast enough. And then the heavy barrel is going to basically improve the overall accuracy of the weapon, and it's also going to improve your accuracy while you're moving around. So two nice benefits there. Now, over the course of this gameplay here, you'll see that I've switched between a couple of different optics, a bunch of 4x optics like the ACOG, and then I actually switched over to a 3.4x optic, the PKA, and I think I ultimately prefer the PKA. I've been using the ACOG for a long time now, but I think that little little triangle aimer in the center of it just isn't enough for me. It's not that precise, and I prefer the little dot in the very center from the PKA and the minimalistic housing of this sight as well. And Battlefield has always been a very customizable game. I think it would be kind of cool to give us the benefit of picking different crosshairs for our optics. In real life, you can get ACOGs with tons of different types of crosshairs in the center, and you can get them just basically on what your aiming style is, your shooting style, what targets you're going for. It would be kind of neat to have some sort of customization option like this for Battlefield. You'd have the default ones, and then maybe as you used optics more and more, you could unlock different kinds of sight pictures. Anyway, it's sort of a nitpicky idea, but it is kind of nice to have a myriad of customization options on your weapons. That's something that I've really grown to like about the Battlefield series. As they've added more and more customization in, I get more and more into the customization. Now, I did get my mastery dog tag while playing with this gun, but for some stupid reason it didn't actually pop up the tag on screen, so I don't really have footage of that because it never actually happened in game, even though I did hit 500 kills with it. When ranking the Scar HSV among other DMRs in the game, I would have to say it's one of my favorites. It's nearly identical to the Mark 11 Mod 0. Very, very small differences between those two guns. In fact, you could interchange them and probably not notice any real performance differences in the long run. So if you're a fan of DMRs, try out the Scar HSV if you haven't already. It's certainly one of the best ones out there. Let me know which gun you would like me to master next. There is a list of the available weapons in the video description. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.